my junior year of college, there was a staff member with Cru that was mentoring and discipling me. And, I was studying to be a math teacher. And he said, hey, for the next couple of weeks, we're going to talk about calling and vocation and vision for the future. And he asked me a question. He said, how did you sense the Lord calling you to be a teacher? When did you, what did that look like? Tell me about your calling. And I looked at him very blankly, and I'm like, I'm sorry, calling to be a teacher. I don't know what you're talking about. He said, well, if you've chosen to be a teacher, and you're a believer, what in you was like, this is how I want to follow the Lord, and this is what I sense him leading me to do and how to contribute to his kingdom. And I was honest, and I said, my main reasons for being a math teacher are June, July, and August.
There's a life plan.
My mom was a teacher. My grandfather was a teacher. I like having the summers off.
I love it.
I'm good at math. It comes easy to me.
I have no greater vision for my future than 3 months off every summer.
Oh my goodness. So
that's a form of calling.
Oh yeah, it was. And he laughed, and I knew that wasn't a good answer to actually give him. So I was like, well, I want to be, a Christian in a public school. That we really need Christians in public schools. He's like, absolutely we do. And I said, well, I was involved with the Fellowship of Christian Athletes in school, and I could be a chapter leader, they call it a huddle leader. Yeah, I could do that. I could lead a Christian group in a public school. He's like, yeah, those are absolutely necessary things. Is God calling you to do that? Those are general needs that, maybe those schools have. And I said, man, I don't know what I think about pastors have this higher calling. Missionaries have this higher calling. I've never thought about calling. So he laid out I think a fuller vision of calling to me. And
can you tell me what that was?
Yeah, I think he walked me through God's purposes in the world, and I think even his purpose in creating us to glorify him and be part of what he's doing in the world. And I had a very small vision for kind of what life could look like as part of God's kingdom. So I think the other thing that was helpful to me, and he shared this, and it came from another staff member with Cru. He changed the question, as I think about what is God's will for my life. He's like, that's the wrong question to ask. That is a self-focused question. What is God's will for my life? Maybe a better way to ask that question is, how does my life fit into God's will? How does my life fit into what God is doing in the world? Here's what God is doing, and how has he maybe uniquely created me to be part of that? It just takes the focus off of, well, it's all about me. So for the first time as a junior in college, who was 3 semesters from graduation, I said, God, okay, what do you want me to do? I haven't asked you that question. I didn't ask you that question when I picked my major. I believe, you've presided over this whole process so far nonetheless, but what do you want me to do? And I sat in for a few weeks, like, man, what has God given me passion for about ministry, about his kingdom, and what is he doing in the world that I get excited about? And the things that I was doing with Cru, I was leading a Bible study, I was mentoring and discipling some younger believers. I was regularly going out on campus to try and connect with new people and invite them to church or invite them to Cru or try to share my faith with them. Those were the things that I was really excited about. And as I got involved in student teaching, and then I taught high school for a year after college, those were still the things I wanted to do most. I wanted to disciple men. I wanted to teach the scriptures. I wanted to share the gospel with people who either had never heard it or didn't yet understand it. And with the best hours of my week, I wanted to do those things, not in the overflow of, hey, I worked 40, 50 hours and I'm going to do, a Wednesday night here and there. I want to do that with my best hours. So it was just a practical calling at that level of what job could I take that would afford me to do this with the bulk of my time.